So I decided to make a top 10 strongest villains in My Hero Academia video. Now this list was hard to make because of the sheer amount of characters and abilities that they have in My Hero Academia. Now I know not everyone's going to agree with my list, and that's understandable because everybody has their own opinions and how they see things. So if you have a different opinion than mine, why not drop it in the comment section below and let me know.
You're never gonna make it, you're not good enough. There's a million other people with the same stuff. You really think you're different, man, you must be kidding. Think you're gonna hit it, but you just don't get it. It's impossible, it's not probable, you're irresponsible. Too many.
Not only is Kurogiri one of the most dangerous in the League of Villains, he also has one of the most useful and dangerous abilities in the series. Although his ability is usually known for transportation, Kurogiri's ability can be one of the most lethal. As seen in his fight with Nomu and All Might, Kurogiri could have chopped All Might in half with just his ability alone. Lacking in physical strength, Kurogiri makes up for it with his ability, being able to teleport and chop people in half or chop anything in half that he closes the portal on, and just destroying anything that he possibly wants to with his ability. One of Kurogiri's most notable traits is that he keeps a level head, and when doing so, keeping a level head, he's able to be known as the voice of reason for Shigaraki and making Shigaraki keep a level head. And in doing so, he can think things out and see how to exploit his opponent's weaknesses and how he could get the better of his opponents. Being one of the primary figureheads in the League of Villains, his intellect is unparalleled. He's also the mad genius behind the nomus. He even goes so far as to call them the high ends his greatest masterpieces. Kyudai's original quirk, Life Force, grants him an extended lifespan and a more youthful appearance. Though his quirk is only a duplicate of his original, he still makes use of it even though he's over 120 years old. He's a loyal and faithful follower of All For One, and even was reluctant to follow Tomura after All For One instructed him to do so. Kyudai later follows suit after testing Tomura with gigantomachia. The deal was, if Tomura could make Machia submit to his will, he would follow Tomura and give him all of his vast resources like he did All For One. Now if you think Kyudai is a pushover, I recommend you rethink your whole life before going after this man, because it could be your last mission. Take into account that Kyudai has more high-end nomus. The #1 hero, Endeavor, struggled with just only one. He can send multiple, plus regular nomus to get you. He's one of the most capable in the League of Villains and has the power to stand against many pro heroes. With the help of Mr. Caprice, he was able to overpower and kill Sand Hero Snatch after the defeat of Overhaul. Even though Dabi received help from Mr. Caprice, he's no pushover. During the revival celebration, he stood his ground against Genten, who was one of the strongest members of the Meta Liberation Army. In terms of raw power, and even overpowered Hawks with brute force with his flames. He's very intelligent and perceptive, being able to outsmart his opponents, read his opponent's intentions and weaknesses of their quirks, and strategize mid-battle. This man legit engages his enemy in psychological warfare, questioning their motives and mortality during battle. This is an entire tactic maneuver to buy time, since the complements of Dabi's weakness is his flames because his body can't take it. After the defeat of high-end Nomu Hood, Dabi was on the battlefield, ready to take on Endeavor and the Hawks in their both weakened states. This man was ready to end them, and he would have had the chance to end them if it wasn't for Miriko popping up ready to battle. He's able to conquer entire countries with just his quirk alone. Twice was one of the pillars of the League of Villains, and his quirk was one of the best quirks in the series. Being able to clone himself, his comrades, and even inanimate objects by only knowing measurements, I say that quirk is pretty OP. What makes Twice's quirk so strong is the fact that the clones can clone themselves. Not the inanimate objects, but the people. So let's say that he had Dabi when they were at the training camp with the UA was at training camp, right? He was able to clone Dabi. That Dabi was able to clone himself. Just think of the possibilities. But this was only after he got over his psychological trauma, which he was able to make multiple clones. Now I know Twice could have been higher on this list, but with the next villain, I figured and I felt that even though Twice is able to clone himself and whatnot, if somebody finds the original Twice, right, and the clones are weak as they are already, because if they take a certain amount of damage, they're destroyed. But the next villain on the list is able to do a lot of good shit that could possibly destroy all of Twice clones in an instant, basically. Even though being finished off by Dabi, he was been able to kill most of the villains in the League of Villains and a lot of pro heroes. Let's be honest, he would have been able to defeat Dabi if Twice came out with his quirk after after getting over his complex, he would have been able to kill Dabi easy. There'll be too many clones. You have to wait till Dabi just loses his quirk. You know, he uses it too much and he has to cool down. He was the best antagonist in the series until he was defeated and his will was broken by Tomura. This man overhaul legit had the power to break down organic and inorganic material at will. In this battle with the heroes for possession of Eri, he combined himself with some of his subordinates and even took on a 100% deku. Even though he lost, he still was a good feat. He's very intelligent and is no fool when it comes to battle, being able to strategize mid-battle just like Dabi, and he's able to assess the situation and figure out how to break down his opponent with ease. If Overhaul was given the chance to assimilate with most of the heroes or in the League of Villains, he would be unstoppable. Because if he was able to take over twice, let's say, and twice his ability is double, which he makes a clone, and then that clone can make a clone of himself, and then that clone can make a clone of himself to end this amount of clones. And who's to say he would have stopped there? He could have taken over Shigaraki, he could have taken over Midoriya, he could have took over Eri and fused with her. And then again, that would probably stop his plan. It has no name and only goes by Hood. Hood is a black high-end nomu, which is the strongest of their species. He is easily the strongest and the most dangerous nomu that we know of to date. He has thought and brain function, which is pretty much a surprise coming from a nomu. And he is somewhat able to come up with strategies during battle, and is even seen evolving during battle. Hood was able to push the #1 hero Endeavor to its absolute limit and shake up the hero-governed world as we know it. I want you to look me in my eyes and tell me which nomu shook up the world more. The nomu that fought All Might or Hood? The nomu that fought the #1 hero now, Endeavor. That's a scary thing to face something that can evolve during battle, can think during battle, and has multiple quirks. Granted, the only reason Endeavor defeated Hood was because he had help from Hawks. He's one of the most dangerous villains to date and has the potential to kill any hero or villain given the opportunity to strike. Stain, better known as Hero Killer, has a quirk that totally complements his physical abilities. He terrified many pro heroes and even the #2 hero at the time, Endeavor. Stain even saved young Midoriya from a flying nomu as he deemed him worthy to take him on. Not a lot is known about Stain, except that we have a little bit of his backstory where he goes and tells the heroes that they shouldn't be working for money, they should be doing this to protect people, to be true heroes. And in doing so, he lost his touch with reality and he turned his back on being a hero to be the ultimate villain, and even vowed to purge the world of fake heroes. Long story short, if Hero Killer Stain is involved in any way, it's best to avoid those one-on-one battles. He's over I don't know how tall, and he weighs too damn much, and is one of the biggest threats to the heroes and literally the world, basically. He's one of those villains that if you caught him in the dark alley, you ain't catching him in the dark alley. That nigga ate the dark alley. Not much is known about Gigantomachia. He's only known for being one of All For One's strongest and most faithful allies, like Shigaraki. A small fact that we know about Gigantomachia is that he's been in war, and he has a strong will. I said the biggest feat from Gigantomachia so far that we know of is that he went up against Shigaraki in the League of Villains. And with all of those people, they couldn't beat this man for a while. I mean, him and Shigaraki were fighting for days. And this was just a test to get Kyudai's loyalty and his loyalty. Oh, by the way, he also bodied Gran Turismo and some other heroes. He was the main antagonist of the series for many generations until he decided to pass the torch to Shigaraki. All For One has one of the biggest quirks in the series and is one of the most lethal villains, only trailing behind Tomura in this department. He has so many quirks for so many occasions that it's unknown how many quirks he has taken, and will most likely counter any quirk that he is faced with. As seen when he was facing the #1 hero at the time, All Might, he was able to hold his own and even push All Might back. He even overpowered All Might at a couple points in the fight, and he stacked all of those quirks on top of the quirk that he already had, which made him a devastating foe. I think one of the scary things about All For One is he's also able to give quirks and take quirks, and when he seen giving Tomura his quirk All For One, it was a wrap. He also doesn't give a damn about killing people. He will do it just because he wants to. Shit's wild. He's the new main antagonist of the series and rightfully deserves that spot. Shigaraki, before receiving the quirk All for One from his master, was already a problem with no destination. After realizing what it is that he truly wants, he's able to truly awaken his quirk's potential. With his newly awakened quirk, his quirk has advanced from only touching to an area of effect where his quirk disintegrates anything. If you're a fan of the manga, then you know that Shigaraki has taken on multiple heroes and destroyed multiple heroes with this area of effect of his new quirk. It's ridiculous how overpowered this guy is right now. After receiving All for One's quirk, he has truly without a doubt become the ultimate villain in My Hero Academia. Oh, and he casually bodied many heroes. The fact that when they go back in his backstory, that shows that when his quirk awakened, he killed his family because of how he was treated. His sister lied on him, and that was a mistake. But the rest of them, yeah, they were gone.